Good evening and a warm welcome to the State of Business on our television. I'm Nishani Piquera. Let's take a look at tonight's headlines first. Seminar on enhancing exports to China held in Colombo. Minister Navin Dissanayake emphasises the importance of a roadmap for human resource management in Sri Lanka. In tonight's main story, Economic and Commercial Councillor at the Embassy of Sri Lanka, Yang Zuo Yuan, says that to win the Chinese market, Sri Lankan export products should meet the international quality standards in order to stand out in the massive market of global suppliers. He also made the following remarks with regard to the potential of the Sri Lankan tourism sector while addressing the gathering at the seminar on enhancing exports to China and attracting investments organised by the Sri Lanka-China Business Council of the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce.
First, explore potential products and services with Sri Lanka characteristics and highlight their special features. Now, compare the companies from all over the world have flooded into the Chinese market. To stand out from all those competitors, you must have a clear idea about what differentiate your product from others. For many products and services with Sri Lankan characteristics, including tea, sapphire, clothes, rubber, and tourism, more efforts should be put into creating good reputation in the Chinese market, strengthening brand awareness, and bringing them into the view of more Chinese consumers. Take tourism as an example. With abundant natural and cultural heritage, and unique and fascinating culture atmosphere.
Commenting on how to do business with China and its cultural dimensions, past President of Trade and Investment Subcommittee of Sri Lanka, China Business Council, Lasantha Wickramasurya, elaborated on the importance of creating cross-cultural communication with Chinese counterparts when doing business in China.
And the Asian part of the world or the eastern part of the world does not work exactly the same way. And that's where the issue is. Importing from China is quite cheap, but exporting to China is quite an expensive route. It's more expensive than getting into the European market, and that's a fact. Because the process is very different. It's more time consuming, and you got to go with that time factor, which is an investment period, which you got to account for at the beginning. You don't send your sales manager to meet the chairman of a Chinese company. Never do that. You are insulting them. You can do it in Europe and get away. Right? So, because it reflects, it's like as if we don't show respect to that person. That's how that culture, that social fabric is woven. So they tend to take the whole picture at the beginning. And you'll find that during negotiations, sometimes the negotiations can prolong for a full day, right? And you'll find them going up and going up and down. It won't go in one linear process. They'll negotiate from different points, and you might sometimes find you go through the whole day, complete the entire discussion, you end up with a lovely dinner, and next morning they want to meet you again. The process starts again. They'll go over and over again sometimes on the same thing, till for them the total picture is formed. So don't expect a very straightforward, step-by-step negotiation process.
During a press briefing, Minister of Agriculture Mahinda Amaravira explained the measures initiated by the ministry to develop agriculture industry in the country. He made the following remarks while addressing the gathering in Colombo today.
තවත් වැඩපිළිවෙලක් අපේ අමාත්‍යාංශය සකස් කරනවා වැව් 1000යි ගම් 1000යි කියලා. අපි වැව් 1000ක් මුල් කරගෙන ගම් 1000ක් හදන්න යනවා. අපි මේ වැඩසටහන ක්‍රියාත්මක කරනවා. අපි වැව් 1000ක් හදන්න මේ අවුරුද්දේම සල්ලි මිලියන 3000කට වැඩි මුදලක් වෙන් කරලා තිබෙනවා. ණය යෝජනා ක්‍රමයක් 7,50,000කට වැඩිය කාන්තාවන් ආරම්භ කරන ව්‍යාපෘතිවල 151ක අයිතිය කාන්තාවන් සතු නම් ඒ ණය මුදල් ලබා දෙන්න කටයුතු කරනවා. ඒ ණය මුදලෙන් 80%ක් පමණයි අය කරන්නේ. 120ක් සහනයක් විදියට දෙනවා. මේ ගොවි ජනතාවගේ බයක් තිබුණා. එයාගේ වගාවට හානියක් වුණොත් ඒ අය ජීවත් වෙන්නේ කොහොමද? ඒ අය ණය බේරගන්නේ කොහොමද? අපි ගොවීන්ගේ හෙක්ටයාර් එකක් ලක්ෂයකට අපි රක්ෂණය කරලා දෙනවා. සත පහක්වත් ගොවීන්ගෙන් අය කරන්නේ නැහැ. ඇයට විකුණා ගැනීමේ පහසුකම් තියෙනවා. අපි ඒ සඳහා දායක වෙන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා.
Time for us to take a short break. We'll be back with more news. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching The State of Business. IPM Sri Lanka inaugurated its annual National Human Resource Conference 2018 at the VMSCH in Colombo last evening. Minister of Plantations and Industries Navin Dissanayake was the chief guest at the occasion.
The two-day conference, which concluded today, explored the opportunities and challenges for organizations, human resource management and human resource professionals in an increasingly digital world. This year, the conference was held under the theme, The Transformation of HR in the Digital World. During the conference, over 1,000 local and foreign participants engaged in technical sessions and panel discussions. Moreover, the grand final of the IPM Great HR Debate and the IPM National HR Exhibition was also held in conjunction with the conference. Speaking at the event, the IPM Sri Lanka President, Professor Ajantha Dharmasiri, made the following remarks.
This is the most international conference that we have ever held in terms of representation from 7 international destinations. And the fitting theme that we have selected, transformation of HR in the digitalization world. I have a personal perspective on this. Digitalization is the current fad, the current currency, the current focal point. But my view is that it's another phase that we are going through. We are living in such a volatile, uncertain, complex and ambiguous VUCA world as we are aware. In such a world, one solid rock is the power of human capacity, power of human potential, power of human resources. That's what we are going to celebrate this evening. That's what we are going to rally around in networking with each other, in reflecting, reinforcing and relating with regard to the most precious resource in our organizations.
Meanwhile, speaking at the conference, Minister of Plantations and Industries Navin Dissanayake emphasized on the importance of formulating a roadmap for human resource management.
Human resource leaders and managers and policymakers have a huge challenge ahead of them when formulating national HR goals into their macro picture. I, as a policymaker, find it rather frustrating that we as a country do not have a HR roadmap of what human resource management and how it can be formulated, should be done and could be done. But unfortunately, those policy objectives of understanding what our country wants, a 10-year roadmap, a 15-year roadmap, a 20-year roadmap of what kind of leaders, what kind of educated people, what kind of task enforcers should be needed in the country is a vital and important question that all politicians should ask.
Speaking further, Minister Dissanayake highlighted the importance of transforming the state sector to meet the aspirations of society.
We pride ourselves as a democratic socialist country. We also have a very entrepreneurial, capitalistic structure, which I think most of you align yourselves to. Therefore, the market is the key. Although I say the market is the key, we also have a very strong state sector. As you know, the state invests about 25% of GDP, of the national income, back into the economy. We spend a large amount of money on education and health. Sri Lanka prides itself as one of the leading countries in the development of its education and health sectors. Nobody takes political credit for this. Successive governments from 1948 have invested huge amounts of capital, resources, and manpower on the development of the state sector. So therefore, the challenge that we all face as leaders and policymakers is how to retune and readjust the state sector with the private sector. They must be aligned together, and also to fine-tune the state sector to meet the aspirations of the people.
In more news tonight, addressing a media briefing this morning, the Minister of Public Enterprise and Kandy City Development, Lakshman Kiriyella, made the following remarks regarding the upcoming projects in the Knuckles Forest.
මේ වතුවල තැනින් තැන තියෙනවා පැචස් හිස්සිඩම් තේවාපුව නෙවෙයි තැනින් තැන පැචස් තියෙනවා එතකොට මේ හිස්සිඩම් ටික තෝරගෙන තමයි අපි ව්‍යාකෘති වලට පෞද්ගලික ආයෝජනයක් ඇවිල්ලා කියනවා මට අක්කර 25ක් දෙන්න මේක මම වවනවා වගා කරනවා එහෙමයි මෙවුවා තක්සේරු කරලා තියෙන්නේ.
After this short break, we take a look at how the stocks performed today. Do stay with us for that. Welcome back to the show. Trading at the Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a negative note today. The All Share Price Index dropped 36.29 points to close at 6,363.62, and the S&P SL20 dropped 20.68 points to close at 3,557.76. Turnover was 545.7 million rupees, and 24.3 million shares were traded. And here's a look at the day's foreign exchange rates. And with that, we wrap up for tonight. Do join us again tomorrow at the same time. Until then, thank you for watching. Have a pleasant evening.